Ladies and gentlemen, yesterday I showed you guys how to open up the stadium. Now, stadium then got buffed or nerfed. I don't know the correct term for it. In other words, it got way easier to open stadium. So last night I went through and figured out every single Easter egg inside stadium. There isn't one blueprint. There isn't two blueprints, but 3 blueprints you can unlock and another mini Easter egg that has to do with the overall story of Verdansk. There's a lot here. I'm going to break down all of them for you so you can do them all for yourself. Now, let's start with the easiest part. So this part is the easy part, opening up stadium. Now you only have to do 3 of the satellite contracts that can be found around the map. Right now, people are seemingly doing them, so pretty much you only have to do 1 per game, and other people will do 2. You just follow the instructions on screen, go to the locations, get a kill, and then eventually capture the area to get one of the satellites complete. Now, once you open up the stadium, the first blueprint that you're going to get is for the XMG. And basically what you're going to do is you're going to go to the inside and you're going to find the weapon case. You then hold that weapon case for 1 minute and 30 seconds. And then if anyone on your team does it, you will receive the XMG blueprint. It is by far the easiest one to do. That one's out of the way. So for the next 2 Easter eggs, they're all going to revolve around this center area of the stadium where the missile is. One of them, we're going to launch the missile. The other one is a secret room. So starting out with launching the missile, this is the one that I've seen the most questions about. The broken electrical boxes found around the stadium. There's 3 parts to this. Number 1, in the broken building on the top level, you will actually find a terminal. On this terminal, it'll say a certain number out of 10 electrical boxes have been fixed. You need to get this to 10 out of 10. We've seen this ranging anywhere from completing 3 to completing 5 of these. So what you need to do next is find an electrical kit or an electrical toolkit. These can be found in the center area of the stadium in either side of the building, like each of the buildings, generally on the bottom or second floor, or off to the one side close to the lab room, which we'll talk about in a second. Now, if you pick up a repair kit, you can repair an unlimited amount of these electrical boxes. It's not like 1 repair kit per 1 electrical box. You can use 1 repair kit for an unlimited amount of electrical boxes. Now, where can the broken electrical boxes be found? Well, there are 4 found in the middle of the map, on the lower floor front of both buildings in the middle, or on the top floor roof of both buildings as well. I'm going to try to show you the most amount I possibly can throughout this section of the video, but just keep in mind to repair all of these, they all kind of take between like 5 and 10 seconds to actually repair. So just make sure there's no one around you before you actually start doing this. In the main concourse, in other words, where the concession stands are, where the bar is, that kind of thing, they can be found in 2 locations. First of all, just on the walls throughout the main area of this concourse, you will see the white electrical box and it's sparking, or the more difficult ones to find are inside each doorway. So the doorways that enter the stadium, they can be found close to the entrances of each of those. So you're going to want to check there. Generally speaking, there will be about 2 on each level. And then if we go up to the main VIP area, the top floor, the 3rd floor of the building, if you will, if you just do 1 full loop around the top of this, they will be located on the middle wall. So just run, look to your left or look to your right. It'll be located to the middle. There can be 2 of them found up there, up to 2 of them. It's possible that there's 0. Generally speaking, we always found 1 up top though. Now, technically, you don't have to look at that terminal to begin with. You can just start repairing these because when you've completed all of them, a notification for 250 XP will pop up saying all relays complete. Or I guess technically repaired. And then what you're going to do is work your way up to, again, to that top floor of the broken building. You're going to interact with the terminal, and then this is what happens.
Attention, missile bay gate engaged. Move away from the platform. Attention, missile bay gate engaged. Move away from the platform.
So in other words, a whole load of nothing happens. No missile is launched. You can't shoot anything into the sky. There's no cutscene, nothing like that. However, the under area of where the missile is opens up. There's a bunch of orange crates, and off to the one side, laying on the wall, is a new Grau blueprint. This is another one of the weapon blueprints, and there you go. You've completed probably the most difficult one out of all of them. Now, in the middle of the stadium, there is a new room called Lab Number 2. I haven't found Lab Number 1 yet, but Lab Number 2 is sitting there front and center. Now, how do you get in this room? You actually have to go out of stadium. You have to go to Overlook, which is what was added in the previous season. On the very roof of Overlook, you may have seen it last season, but there is an area on a table. There is a blueprint of stadium. Now, found on that table, there'll be a secret key card. You pick this up. It has a very interesting logo, the same logo that can be found on all the screens and everything within inside of Stadium. And then you are going to make your way back to the center room of Stadium. Find the little lab room. You're able to open the door, and inside you will not find a blueprint, but rather a note, which says, in the event of a breach of our secure facilities, remember to destroy all confidential documents and head to the agreed rendezvous at this part destroyed by fire damage. Our team is under heavy scrutiny and we cannot afford a repeat of the Overlook incident. Miss L, Supervisor. So we don't know what that rendezvous point is, but I'm guessing that's going to probably be the next Easter egg in Season 6. And then we have the classic Easter egg. This is the same Easter egg that was in the OG Stadium. It revolves around 3 keycards, 3 rooms, and 1 code that unlocks the VIP suite in the executive lounge area, top floor of the stadium. Another cool thing about this is it actually gives you almost the exact same blueprint that was given back in Modern Warfare 2019 for doing this Easter egg as well. However, some of the things around the room have changed. Now, how do we get in here? Let me show you the easiest way, and then I'll add some extra things if you can't do it the way that I show you. So when you go to the stadium, once it is opened, you're going to go first to the parking garage. The reason why I say that is this one has the most frequent spawns of any of the key cards. Every time that I personally found it, it was inside the locker rooms, which lead to the main area of the stadium, towards the middle, but up from the parking garage. You go in here and you're going to find the P2 key card. Now, just to be clear, there are 2 of these dressing rooms. However, it can be found in either one. They're kind of on opposite sides of the parking garage. Now, once you have this, you need to go into the lower level of the parking garage. Just in one spot, you can see on the mini map there, kind of where it is located in the stadium. You're going to go down there, and that is the parking garage room. You know you have the right key card. If it starts with P, you go to the parking garage. Inside this room, there is going to be a terminal. It is going to give you a code. So when you interact with the computer, a code's going to pop up on screen. The first symbol is a nose or N, and nose again for N, 0, 2, 1, nose again, house or H, and then T. So write that down just like you're seeing how I wrote on screen here. You now need to find another key card. Now, you can find one on the main concourse, which leads to the room inside the kind of bar area, which sometimes can be very easy to find. You can quite literally find the key card on the bar, and right on the other side of the bar is the entrance to that main concourse room. However, this is the least common and least consistent spawn. I don't recommend this. What I recommend doing next is going up to the executive level, the top level or top floor of the stadium. Now, the most common spawn for this key card, for the EL card, or executive level, is in this kind of suite here, right on the desk or right on the bar. You grab that. Then you're going to work your way along the outside of the executive level until you find the one room that is not covered by a rope. So you have your 1 code. This is going to give you another one. So this time we have, starting out with 4, and then another nose or N, and then an H for house, 2, 1, N, H, T. Now, the easiest way to do this is to stack the 2 codes that you have. So now, if you look at the first code, you know that all of the N's are 4s and all of the H's are 0. So your new code is going to work out to 44021 4 0, and then the only one you don't know is T. If you were to do the third terminal, you would figure that out, but you don't need to, because you can just go to the terminal or go to the executive suite on the top floor and just use trial and error until the new code that you have actually works. You should really only have to test out the very maximum 5 of them, because essentially you know that the last letter remaining isn't going to be a 0, a 2, a 1, or a 4, or whatever those numbers may be the time that you do it. So all you have left is 5 numbers remaining that it could possibly be. And this time it just so happened to be a 7. So I put in the code, it gives me access to our final Easter egg, our final blueprint, and our final room. This one being the exact same blueprint that we were given back in the original Verdansk, the original Stadium Easter egg. However, the things found inside, and specifically the things that you can see on the walls, are a little bit different. Some of them remain the same from before. However, there are these schematics of the what appears to be the XS1 Vulcan that tore the hole through the roof of the stadium, as well as a map for a location that I currently don't know. If you have any ideas what this map is leading to, let me know. But I have a feeling all of this is relating to something to do with Black Ops 7. For now, these are all the Easter eggs. Hopefully I was able to help you out. If I did, it would be greatly appreciated if you could hit that like button. And as always, thank you so much for watching. And until next time, peace.